Greetings everyone. I'm going to demonstrate how to create steps using the exacto knives. I have my Harbor Freight kit again. Basically what I do, is on the face of your platform, wherever you're putting your steps, measure out 1/2 inch increments. And then go down to however wide your step is and make the mark again. And then connect those lines. I use 1/2 inch increments. It seems to be a pretty good step size for most of my villages. You can of course make them as big as you want. Okay. So on the face of it, I have all of my lines. On the side, if it helps you out, you can also measure out and continue off the sides as a visual aid if you're doing a step that is on the corner. So I'm going to pretend that my step is this big. That's my area to work with. Take your knife. If you have a hard time determining depth, you can put a piece of masking tape on here. So say you're using my 1/2 inch increment, just put it a 1/2 inch from the tip, and then you'll know when you plunge it in, when you get to the tape, you're at 1/2 inch. So you go in. You're cutting down a 1/2 inch to get to your first line here. You have to cut along the back. And then cut in from the face. The first step at the top is the hardest one to cut because you don't know how far in it is. And you can't get your blade in all the time. So what you have to do is take this one by increments. I'm cutting the distance in half. Just keep working it in until you get that piece totally out of there. If it doesn't pop right off, that means it's hooked someplace. And just go back there and cut it again. It should just pop right out of there. There you go. Okay, now we have our first step. I go in about a 1/2 inch, or however big you want to make your steps, just go in and cut down your next 1/2 inch increment. They get easier as you get closer to the face because you don't have to dig the knife in as deep. Get that down to the next 1/2 inch increment. And then again, cut it into the face. If you break it off, just go back in and touch it up with the knife a little bit. and the first step is created. And then just find the next spot, cut across. Again, you're going down the 1/2 inch increment, and then cut into the face, the last 1/2 inch line. By the time you get to the first, the last step or two, the knife should just about go all the way through. There it is. If you don't like the way it looks, again, you can just kind of go through with your razor blade and touch it up a little bit. Square them up a little bit. There you have it. There's a step. Now, if you're doing a step that's in the center of the platform, same rules apply. You figure out where your steps are going. Say I'm making the step that big. You have your 1/2 inch lines on the front. You've got to cut all the way back. That whole top section has to come off a 1/2 inch, a whole 1/2 inch. So we'll do the same thing. Cut the line across the back. And then start cutting in from the face. Again, the first step, the furthest step back, is the hardest one to cut because you can't find you don't know where you're at exactly. So it's kind of a blind step making. But see how I took half the chunk off? I still have to get back to this line. So then go back to the face. Got it all the way back to your line. Come back, whatever your length of your step is going to be. Cut down about 1/2 inch. Cut the sides down so it matches the 1/2 inch on the front again. And then cut into the face again. Take your time. Try to keep the blade straight. Do a couple of practice ones on some scrap. That's why we suggested getting the scrap styrofoam. The big one that we figured you'd have practice on the most will be the steps. And there's my first step. And then I go back another 1/2 inch or whatever it is, and go down that last line. Again, cutting down to your last line, and then going into the face again. And again, the first step closest to the ground is going to be the easiest because you don't have to worry about, you don't have to figure out how deep you're going now. So there you go. You have a corner step that you can see at both sides, and you have a step that's on the inside. If you have a rock formation that goes around, remember we stopped carving the rocks to where we were putting the steps. Now you get your carving tools back out and you tie the steps back into the rest of your wall. And there you go. carving steps with a razor blade.